Hey y'all, Misty here. Honestly, this past month has been pretty abysmal, but we're trekking through. I wanted to bring something really cool for the first intro of the new season, but I never had that burst of creativity to sit down and write my script. So while I don't have a typical session lined up for today, the good doctor did leave me something. Is this my camera? Oh, we're just recording audio. Delightful. Hello. While I unfortunately have to step out of the office for a more extended period, I did leave this with my receptionist for any of my patients that had to be rescheduled. My sincerest apologies, but some things are still on the mend. I would hate to bring my problems to work, so with more time, I will be more than ready to help with other people's problems. Now, I have a quote here that I think will work well for anyone that might feel a little in limbo with their pursuits at the moment. Don't pass on your passions to settle in the stale normality. Endure, strive, ensure. Anthony Lucioni. Now, what I can get out of this is that I can be more than just a small community vocal therapist and consultant, and I could potentially go on to win a Nobel Prize. But what can we get out of this for you? Well, you all want to be voice actors, but you have life going on. Problems come in and out to demand your attention, and sometimes if you choose to step away for a small while, they can even consume you since you've fallen out of habit. I know a lot of you feel that if you haven't gotten anywhere within your first year, that you're just not meant for this. That the little bit of time you're able to spend auditioning or going to classes and training isn't worth it. I'm here to tell you, it is. I have heard samples from all of you as part of our work, and I honestly can say there isn't a single voice I wouldn't want to have blasting at full volume in my car reading an audiobook. You all bring different strengths, life experience, and drive to this community. But you need to understand something I have told you all from the very beginning. Rome wasn't built in a day, and voice acting will not become your life magically overnight, and maybe not even within a year or two. Does that sound negative? Absolutely. You expect to take a class and be told by the instructor that you'll be applying those skills in your life in no time. Lots of programs boast about 30-day guarantees. You'll lose this much weight in a month. You will find a job in this field with what we teach you within a year or your money back. But no one can honestly provide you any kind of guarantee for voice acting success. And if they do, they're lying. Well, really just buttering you up. The reason why not even I can tell you when you are prepared to take on those anime waifu roles you want is because every project is looking for different things. It would be impossible to ask every voice actor to do it all, because that's the joy of this industry, finding the right fit for the role that makes it sound natural. If everyone could deliver the kind of performance and the range needed for whatever role pops up, well then casting would be infinitely harder. I know you want to go out there after getting your demo and say, "I'm ready, let the roles come to me." Some might. But if you don't get those juicy roles you've been looking for, or if you haven't dropped your 9 to 5 after a while, please don't get discouraged. You have to be patient and dedicated to auditioning until the projects yes, you are perfect for manifest. It will happen. A casting director will say, "This is the person I want." I know we haven't had our regular sessions in a while, and some of you mentioned you would go on a full vacation of sorts from voice acting to clear your head and set the auditions aside. Well, I am simply here to tell you that if you truly want something, don't let it go. If you feel this is your calling, you enjoy it, you have fun, you have experienced growth, do not give up. And also, please continue listening to Cold Read the podcast as they are now back for a new season. I will never stop plugging them. I hope this can provide some reassurance if you've been feeling a little out of sorts. I miss you all, and look forward to seeing your progress.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the beginning of Season 4 for Cold Read. Thanks to those that are here or listening or watching on YouTube, wherever you are. We appreciate your time, and hopefully our words will help inspire you, as Misty just did for most of us, or move you in the direction that you want to go when it comes to this particular profession.
Yeah.
because it is a lot of work. It is a lot of emotional, I'm not going to say damage, but I'm going to say a lot of emotional fortitude that it takes in order to be able to pull this off. So please keep that in mind as your journey goes, as we were reminded. So thank you very much, Misty, for that wonderful intro. If you have any questions for us, please feel free to email us, ColdReadthePodcast@gmail.com. We have an active Discord. We're currently recording this right now. The link will be in the description if you'd like to join. We also do some video games. We do a lot of stuff on there, so please feel free to come on in. If you have a question for us, we will route it to the right place. We would love to hear your audio, so if you have any demo reels or parts that you want to have somebody give you constructive criticism about, we're very good about that. We've done it to each other. This isn't anything that we wouldn't do to anybody else, so keep that in mind.
Yeah.
So with that, ladies and gentlemen, welcome again. Season 4, my goodness, we're coming up on our 2nd year of doing this.
I know.
Unfortunately, Mr. Eldurrino is not here, so not Eldurrino is back. So, Ravenmane, thank you. We actually got your nameplate up this time, and it's not just scratched up.
I have a nameplate?
You have a nameplate.
Boy.
I liked not Eldurrino. I liked not Eldurrino.
I was a fan of not. Okay, it's okay. Eldurrino is alive forever here. Audio listeners, I'm pointing to my heart.
Or you could just come on over and check us over at YouTube/ColdReadthePodcast. But yeah, thank you so much, everybody. Let's check, because it's been 3 weeks now. It's
been a bit.
It was it felt like a snap, and here we are again. It was interesting to have some Sundays off, I will say that. But I'm sure we all have some very, very interesting stories to tell. So we'll start with the other side of the world, and Renara, how has your time off been, my friend?
It's been weird. I think I'm so used to us doing it on Sundays, and then just for some reason having several Sundays off, just everything kind of went. I wasn't sure what to do. But no. Gods, where to begin? Because the irony is, they're probably like small little things that are important to me, but nothing massive in the grand scheme of voice acting. But one, I got an early birthday present, which if everyone had seen on Twitter, I was like, I look what I got for my birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I can't for the life of me pronounce the name of the
of this mixer.
But I think yes, but it's just like Scarlet 2I2 or something like that. I know that part. I just can't the 4 for the F, the F sounding. Never mind. Dyslexia strikes again. Woo!
Okay, right.
Thank you. But no, yes, I got that, and just the sigh of relief after hearing the how do you call it, the electrical sounds that had been plaguing me since I got this new microphone just disappear. And I just had this moment of, it's like, finally, I now know the only reason people cannot want me for their projects is because, one, I'm not the right fit for them, and two, it's not my audio quality now. So I'm like, yes, I can room tone check, everything's fine.
Nice.
Secondly, I managed to get Grim on Twitter, which is a huge accomplishment.
I saw that. He
is not a social media person in the slightest. He despises social media. He's not afraid. He just does not like it. So I was like, if you seriously, because he got some work from Crown Stag. Some paid
really?
work from Crown Stag, he did, and he's never going to talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it because
nice.
I'm going to hype him up. The irony is, I thought I'd get paid before he did, and he got paid before me. So I'm a tiny bit salty, but I'm okay. It's fine. But no, if you guys want to go follow him, it's at VA_Grim, because Commander Grim was taken. He was going to go with that.
Darn.
But yeah, go follow him, and just, he's already had a lovely big welcome by the VA community over on Twitter. I keep telling him to keep checking Twitter. Like, have you checked Twitter today? Have you checked Twitter today? Have you found a casting call today? I am his manager at this point.
Nice. Take 10% of that then.
Yes. Nah, he can just buy me food. It's fine.
That works too.
Yeah. So there's that. I started to get I started to get a couple of voice acting jobs emailed to me over the course of the break, which was nice. Because what seems to be is I followed a few people on Twitter over the break, and they added my business email to like their sort of like chain email type thing. I mean, it's not specifically to me, but it's still nice to have something come into your inbox, if that makes sense. And I was like, ooh, oh, this is good. So I've had a few of those, which is nice.
Good.
Other than that, I mean, my birthday is in literally 10 days, so I'm kind of excited for that. And I bought furniture for the house and decided, because since I'm reading more books, that I need more book space, more storage. You can never have too many bookshelves.
No.
So, yeah.
Yeah, my wife agrees with you there, as we've got 4 at least in the living room packed with books. Most of them nowadays. Yeah, and you have your friend.
I have my friend.
I saw him. You forgot your friend's name?
I think it's Sparkle and then Dot, because I am creative and and named them their patterns. For those listening, I have one of those reversible octopuses that have like a happy face and a sad face, and the happy face is Sparkly and the sad face is Dotty, and yes, this is how I communicate to the world.
Well, more to Grimm too. You were mentioning earlier.
Yes, it is. You can talk to me, and as I said, half and half at your own risk. I cannot tell you what whether or not I'm going to snap at you or I'm going to be in a good mood. So at your own risk, or don't even try. don't even try. Anyway, I've rambled enough. Starting off this season 4 strong with some rambles. Moving on.
No. Why would you say that? I mean, it's not like rambles. We actually have a sound effect for that. I'd like to acknowledge Nyx in the star. Thank you so much for being here, Magmorta.
Hey!
Magmorta, as always, thank you so much for modding the channel as we go. Anybody else is in chat, thanks for lurking. All of you wonderful people that are here. Let's move on. We'll go back closer to our side of the world and check in with Miss Misty. Misty, how are you? Oh wow!
I hate that I've started the podcast like that.
No.
Sort of in a row for a while now. It's just that, my main disappointment is that I was expected to be a licensed driver by now, but that's not going to happen for a while. I have to pay a good amount to take the test, and I haven't been able to because life. So,
yeah.
Hoping that this next Saturday I will take my driver's test. I need to get my license soon. So. Well, we'll see, and hopefully I will get a car soon because I need one desperately.
Yeah.
For voice acting, I'm going to be starting the next Now Voice This competition. Like I'm going to be in that. I haven't started it yet, but soon. I think this month. So I'm going to be in that. They did one on TikTok that was like a 3-round thing. They haven't announced winners for that yet. I was in that. At least I did 1 round. That video was fun to do, and I'm thinking sort of like sparked a little creativity for other stuff I could do. Sort of like reading bad reviews or reading stuff from like Reddit. I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah.
I'll see. I'll think about it. But apart from that, it's do you have some good news? It's like, yes, I do have some good news though.
Okay.
I don't want to let you down. The person that I was working with for YouTube videos, he did get back to me about the other channel, so he has been giving me some work. So
yay!
Nice.
Let's go.
I'm glad you guys got that worked out.
Oh yeah, because I desperately needed those extra dollars, and it's been coming in handy a lot lately. So we'll see how that continues going, and hopefully I'll have some more good news soon because it's been tiring.
No, I'm sorry to hear. I understand though. I understand what and welcome and thanks for being here. And I for one loved your intro, so thank you so much.
Thank you, missed you all. It's been weird just having Sundays off with nothing to do. So
I think we've all had that. Just
well, and normally we'd check in with Eldurrino, but as we mentioned, Ravenmane is stepping in again, award-winning actor. Thank you so much. There it is, right there. He's pointing at it for those of you listening to us.
Every time.
Well,
It's just a really good bit. You have to do it.
Yeah,
I think.
absolutely.
It's right there. It's prominently featured in my upper. This is my right. That would be the probably left-hand corner. I feel like my camera's probably flipped. Yep, upper left-hand corner.
Yes.
Look at me. Very professional. Know my marks.
Yeah.
That's how I got that award. So I work at a music school, and the music school has a thing they used to advertise. It's a little program called Show Teams. Show Teams is where a team of musicians go to like schools or community centers, and we show the instruments that we have to kids: guitar, bass, drums, keyboards, voice, etc., etc. And at the end, we do a dance party. Dance party is a little competition. We split the room up into two sides. I usually call them left side and right side. I usually call them left side, right side because they have decided that I am a really good person to present this to the children, which is a horrible mistake. I get the kids way too into it, way too fired up. We'll get there.
Okay.
So we split the room into two halves, left side, right side. I go, all right, left side's going to dance, right side's going to dance. Whoever wins the dance off, I call it the dance off. Whoever wins the dance off, everyone on that side is going to win a microwave. And these are anywhere from like pre-K kindergartners to like middle school, high schoolers. And you would be surprised how jazzed up these kids get about winning
I can
a microwave. They are super excited. It's like they understand that like microwave unlimited bagel bites sounds great. Sign me up. Like they're really jazzed up about it. And so we do the dance off. I arbitrarily pick a side to win. Just generally I'll like eeny, meeny, miny, mo before the start of the thing. And I'll be like, that side's winning regardless of what happens, unless somebody does something crazy. And then I go, all right, right side wins. Let's go. Woo, huzzah. Okay, everyone, we're going to do a countdown. Then everyone's going to get their microwave ready. And I go 5, and then I go 4, and then I go 3. And you may see where this is going. And then I go 2, and then I go 1. Little teeny tiny wave.
Oh my god.
Oh my
Teeny
god.
tiny wave.
I love it.
A microscopic waving of my finger, a microwave. And I was briefed ahead of time. Oh, by the way, the kids hate this. They get
You are a brave man.
They get so mad at you. And I got the kids really fired up, and I hit them with the microwave. And one kid in the back of the room just goes, "You gotta be kidding me!"
Oh my god.
One kid ran up to the stage and is slamming his palms on the stage, and he points at me and goes, "You lied to me!" And so they're so mad. And all the rest of the kids swarm the stage. Kids are trying to jump up on the stage, and I'm like, oh wow, they really do get mad. This is kind of funny. And I look at my partner Justin, who's on the keyboard. I go, Justin, you were right. They're really mad. He looks crazy. He looks like this. Like if the expression oh no had a face, that's Justin's face. And that was the moment I realized, cool, I'm in danger. But it's okay because they had a counselor who they really wanted to watch dance, and so we made one of their counselors dance to "Twist and Shout" by the Beatles. It was great. It was a time. It was good.
Oh, okay.
Yay.
Okay. At least you all were able to negotiate that.
What's fun is my boss was there watching this all happen, and he's watching the kids storm the stage and shout at us, and one kid's like, "Yo, suck!" And my boss is in the back of the room just like, laughing at us. I'm like, "Mike, you're not helping."
Fun.
I'm totally stealing that.
Yes.
For the end of this year.
Steal the microwave. Steal.
Oh, absolutely. If they haven't already seen this by the time.
Oh my god, it's perfect.
It's funny because as soon as you said microwave, I kind of, because I'm a dad, so I get to sense those as they come, and it's like, oof, you those kids are gonna be so mad.
Furious.
I have a sense of pride at this for some reason. I'm so proud of this.
One kid was doing the worm. The kid on the winning side did the worm, and he's like, "I did the worm for this."
Wow, you goddamn it!
Furious. They get mad.
Oh yes.
Oh,
when prizes are on the line.
Yeah, the competitive side really brings out the absolute, animal in kids most of the time.
I would have just been laughing my ass off because I laugh at that kind of things. I'd be like, oh my god, this is so stupid. I wouldn't have been mad. It's like, oh, whatever.
There is a slight fear in me that if I try and pull this off with my students, that they might throw a chair. They might get angry.
They'll pull a mutiny.
The sense of
risky
humor
run.
does not translate probably that well from the States to England. I think if I tried that, it might cause a riot. But
Hey, we'll find out. Let us know, because
I come in with a black eye and go, I did the microwave.
a little dot where the chair landed, like
Yes,
right
yeah.
indentation on the forehead.
I'm excited to see how this goes now.
Well, thank you, Ravenmane. Appreciate you filling in for Mr. Eldurrino while he's got his time off today. So
Thanks for having me, as
Yeah.
always.
as always, appreciate it. Always good to hear. So for me, I mean, I was still dealing with the infection that I had in the face right before we ended. My wife went on vacation. She went up to Portland and immediately got COVID. So she was stuck in Portland for a couple of days, had to drive back from Portland to San Diego, which is a 20-hour drive, by the way,
No.
because she couldn't
No.
fly and
No.
she couldn't stay where she was.
Oh.
So I was exposed. I did not get it. Completely tested negative. So did my son. So my daughter and my wife both had it, and me and my son completely dodged it. So we don't know. And apparently, because my daughter's partner also got COVID, and her caretaker got back home, and the caretaker's husband didn't get it. So something about this particular strain where apparently we all got to dodge it. I'm not going to complain. Finally got back to work, and have not really had an opportunity to get in front of the mic because I was taking care of certain individuals at home. So yeah, it's life, and exactly why your particular intro, because you're right, because it can consume you, and you fall out of your habits, and it's just very, very hard to get back into it. To find the time to get back into the booth. I haven't cracked open my booth in 3 weeks. It's still just right behind me. So I look forward to making the next intro. That'll usually spark me to get back in there, and we'll go from there. And then, of course, we do have a very, very special guest next week. Hopefully the stars will align and make sure everybody brings their questions. For those of you that don't know, we do have Jun Yoon coming in, and we're going to sit down and we're going to talk about all things and coaching. Hopefully opportunities will come up and we can discuss that and how that all works. And like I said, make sure you have your questions, because I'm absolutely looking forward to this.
So excited.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
and also, forgot to mention this, but since you mentioned COVID, unfortunately.
Yes.
Another part of my worries was that my partner who lives in El Salvador got COVID, and he lives with his family. Thankfully, they did not. But he's been stuck in a room, just with his own room, just for like the past 1 or 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Apart from that, to make it worse, he apparently had a cavity that he hadn't gotten treated yet. He didn't tell me at all about this.
No.
He bit into something hard and the tooth just broke.
Oh.
And it's to deal with that in quarantine,
Yeah.
with not being able to go to a dentist or anything, it's oh my, are you kidding me? Why is this happening to you?
So you're super infectious. No dentist is gonna see you.
I know, so he's just dealing with that and being sick at the same time. And I'm like, oh, why are you doing this to me?
Oh my goodness.
Take care of yourself, damn it. It's
Seriously.
it's so sad. Oh, it's been pain.
Yeah. Acknowledgement to Red Queen Rhonda. Thank you so much. Hey, how's it going? We're doing great over here. We're talking about our days. I hope you are doing good. Wow, that's crazy. So, is he clear now? Has he been able to get that taken care of?
I think he hasn't gotten tested again yet. He's still mildly coughing.
Yeah.
Gonna wait to get that completely cleared up, and then he's gonna see, because he desperately needs to get that checked out as soon as possible.
My
So it's just
goodness.
been my worries, and then I'm worried and fuming at the same time. God damn it, why did this happen?
I care about you, but you made me so angry. Why did you do this? But I care about you. Yeah.
It's tell me if you need any help with anything. I'll see what I can freaking do even from here. I'll do anything. I'll see what I can do. But he's
I'll still be mad about you about it. But
Oh man, I can't even imagine. And yeah, I could totally. I've always said tooth pain can take down the mightiest person. I don't care if you're like Arnold Schwarzenegger or anybody, The Rock or anything, you got a toothache, man, you're going to be down and out for the count because that is rough.
Yeah.
Okay. We have another gentleman who was going to be a guest, like I said, at the end of the month. His name is Paul Schmidt. We're going to go ahead and show his video.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let the topic all talk by itself. So if anybody wants me to stop, raise your hand, let me know, and we'll be more than happy to start the comments that way. But for now, make sure that this goes up. Yep, here we go.
All right, here are the top 3 worst websites for voiceover work. A list of the 3 worst websites to find voiceover jobs, including the worst websites for your voiceover career and the 3 worst free sites for voiceover jobs. I'm Paul Schmidt, a voice actor and voice business coach. Look, nobody starts out looking for the worst places to find voice acting work, but if you're going to look for the best voiceover websites to find voice acting jobs online, it's also useful to know the voiceover websites to avoid, and more importantly, why they're sketchy at best. Okay, if you're in the first few years of your voiceover career, it's real easy to get overwhelmed by all the sites online in which you can find work, both free sites and paid sites. It seems like there are new sites coming online weekly now. In 2003, the two 800-pound gorillas in the business, Voices.com and Voice123, were both founded. 10 years later, sites like Fiverr and VoiceBunny came on the scene, and a few years later, sites like Upwork, and a myriad of others. The ability to find work online has upended the entire voiceover industry. For decades, voiceover work was almost exclusively cast through casting directors and talent agents. But technology has changed all that. So in a lot of genres now, online casting sites are now competing next to or have replaced casting directors and talent agents as the middle people, and they control a ton of voiceover work. And in a lot of ways, this democratized the industry. Remember, technology also changed who was seeking voice actors. It wasn't just large companies anymore. Companies of all sizes were producing their own content and didn't always know how to find professional voice actors, how to engage with us, how to work with us, or what we cost. More importantly, clients who were producing work in-house didn't always want to go through the complexity of hiring and working with union talent. So there's a lot more non-union freelance voiceover work than there was, let's say, even at the turn of the century. As a result, over the last 20 years, we've seen the rise of the freelance non-union voice actor. We now have the ability to look for and find work online in a way that we didn't have a generation ago. And that has opened up the industry to a vastly larger number of voice actors coming into the business. So now here we are in the 2020s with a multitude of online, both free and paid casting sites. So the question becomes, how do you know the difference? How do you separate the good from the bad? For that, you first have to look at voice acting as a business. Strategically, you have 2 paths you can go by. You can look for jobs or you can look for clients. A job is a single piece of work that you do at a single point in time. It's transactional. It's a one and done. It's the one-night stand of voiceover. Thank you very much. You were fantastic. Leave the money on the dresser. Call me. A client, however, is a long-term relationship. At first, you start with courtship, where you flirt for a while. No, you hang up. No, you hang up. No, you. Then someone asks the other out on a date. And if that goes well, there's another date, and then another, and then another. You learn about each other. You learn your likes and dislikes. You learn how the other operates. You come to understand what each other are all about. You both are seeing other people, but that's okay because this is a flimsy-ass metaphor and we're really talking about business. When I started my voice acting career, I made the conscious decision to own as many of my relationships as possible with my clients. Clients mean recurring work. Not always regular work, but often. I have some sporadic clients. I have clients that come to me every month. I have some clients that come to me once a quarter. I have some clients that come to me a couple times a year. And then I have clients that come to me annually, once a year, like clockwork. We are in a relationship, literally. We're there to meet their needs, whatever they may be, and thereby strengthen the relationship. Look, the reality is your work will always be a mix of clients and jobs throughout your career. The cogent point, though, is that a professional client is worth a hell of a lot more than a job because a professional client means good work recurring over time. And secondly, if we're going to squeeze all the juice out of this flimsy dating metaphor, you don't want to be out there looking for 2s, 3s, and 4s. You want to be working with 8s, 9s, and occasionally 10s. You want professional clients that know what they're doing. and value what we do as professionals. 2s and 3s and 4s are needy and clingy and high maintenance, and they will suck the life and the joy right out of you. You offer them the moon, they want the sun, the stars, the planets, the comets, any cut downs, lifts, and they want it all in perpetuity. 8s, 9s, and 10s are low maintenance. They know exactly what they want, and they are more than willing to pay professional rates for a quality experience. Now, I tell you all that to tell you this. Online casting sites, both free and paid, are still the wild, wild west of voiceover. There's the good, the bad, and the ugly. Some are paid, some are free to voice actors, some condone developing relationships with clients, others bend over backwards to keep the talent and clients separated so that they can be the middle people and control the flow of the work and the money. So,
All right, I want to stop it for a second there. I think, I don't know, Renara, I saw your hand a couple of times, but I don't know if you're actually asking a
No,
question.
that was me. That was me just moving around and trying to take in all the information at the point. If that makes sense.
I actually like the metaphor that he's using only because
Yeah.
I think we've all been at some of those at this particular
Yeah.
point. I don't know if there's one similar to your profession, Ravenmane, when it comes to, do you have like people that would approach you more often than not?
Not really.
Yeah.
There's not generally with acting, speaking very broadly, you're not going to have a lot of situations where you have clients you work with regularly. Generally speaking, it's jobs.
Yeah.
Where you audition. The closest I can imagine is as a technically a musician. You will occasionally have like bars or like venues that'll ask you, hey, if your band is available, can you play here on these dates? And you'll have venues reaching out to be like, we want you to play this. That's more like a client situation versus a job situation. But in acting, you're generally looking at jobs more than clients on the stage.
Misty, I think, I'm sorry, you'd probably be more qualified to talk about the client portion of it because you got a lot of people. I mean, you had your YouTube guy that just starts coming to you. Why are you laughing?
It's just so when he was mentioning like the 2s, 3s, 4s, and all those like really clingy people that ask for everything, I'm like, It's just
split that up though, because as someone who's seen it on casting call, you can tell the different types through what the casting calls that I've seen, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because like I put unlimited revisions because it's like, I mean, it's just easier sort of for me, and most of the time I don't really have clients that ask for revision, so it's like I don't really care if someone like maybe something was mispronounced or they made a tweak to like 1 or 2 lines, like that's different. But then you have people that are like repeatedly coming back with several revisions, and it's not something that I did. It's they're the middleman, and the actual client is changing a ton of things in the script. Suddenly they come out with an entirely new script. I'm like,
yeah. I'd always question that and basically say this is a whole new job. This isn't the same thing. As long as the standard idea is there, I'll revise. But if you're making me do a whole new thing, this is another job.
For sure. And with me, that's always a little weird because those people, like the middlemen, like those are actually like my regular clients. So it's like, I don't want to be that person to be like, as it's difficult. So
Gotcha.
I wish I can't wait to get away from Fiverr eventually because it's like,
Oh, I understand. Nix, this guy does have a lot of charisma. I look forward to interviewing Paul. This is going to be a really, really fun interview, I think. Yeah. Do we want to take a guess on which particular site one of the sites he's going to mention?
I feel he's going to say like, I don't know. Maybe Casting Call Club might.
I actually suspect he is going towards Casting Call Club
think he's
too.
Good, yeah, because I mean, we've all had the similar thing of some can be really good, but others can be, Minecraft role playing.
Yes.
And I feel like with what he mentioned with like the sites that definitely like bend over backwards to like prevent like the client talent relationship. Like voice 1, 2, 3. It's like that does not encourage that kind of relationship at all.
At all. They want their cut 100%.
I'm gonna guess that he might say that VAC, like voice acting club, might be good. I think because it has a more sort of it's a board. You pin a job and then you get to talk to the person directly. If through email, if that makes sense, that might be a good one. I'm guessing for that. I'm guessing.
All right, let's continue on. I just wanted to get everybody's input real quick. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
Let's get into the ugly. Here are the top 3 worst websites for voiceover work. Think of it as the who let the dogs out of voiceover. Number 3, Bunny Studio, formerly Voice Bunny. What started out as a side project of Voices 1, 2, 3 became Voice Bunny. They rebranded a few years ago as Bunny Studio. You do get to set your own rates on Bunny Studio, no matter what the genre. Bunny Studio rates are broken out per word for 5, 50, 500, 5,000, and 50,000 words, regardless of genre, and that's the big problem. Advertising, commercials, for example, should never be based on word count. Certainly not at tiers of 5 and 50 words. Commercials come in standard lengths of 6, 10, 15, 30, and 60 seconds, and even then, that's not how they're priced. Professional GVAA rates are not based on word count or spot length. They're based on the medium, TV, radio, digital, geography, local, regional, national, worldwide, and most importantly, how long the spots run. 13 weeks, 26 weeks, a year, 2 years. Commercials and any paid placement work should never be a flat rate per word and licensed in perpetuity. Standard non-broadcast work is also not based on a flat rate per word. It's based on a sliding scale based on the length of the script. Now, you might be saying, well, Paul, that's a very subtle difference, and you're right, but if you don't know the difference, and if you don't structure your rates properly, you could be leaving hundreds or thousands of dollars on the table over the course of your career. So Bunny Studio is clearly aimed at talent and clients who don't know or care really how professional rates are structured and how they work. These are the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s of voiceover jobs. They're high maintenance and they're low long-term value. You're better than that. You should be working with 7, 8s, 9s, and 10s. You've been training. You've been working out. You sound good. You look fabulous. You could get a 10. Site number 2.
Okay. That I'd not heard of Bunny Studio. And you know, if you're watching, you can see what number 2 is, and I'll talk about number 2 in a second. But
I'm in shock, but I actually respect that decision.
have you used Bunny Studios before, Misty?
Yeah, I worked with them before they rebranded, so I was doing really well. Like, a big advantage that they had, I think they still do that, is that you do get a little bit of payment, like a little compensation, sort of, even for just auditioning for projects, even if you don't get it. So for me, it was like big motivation, but it's one of those things where it's like, you need to be on top of this at all times because they come in and it's a cap. And if you don't audition, then you won't even get that tiny little bit of thank you. You auditioned. Good job.
Right.
And then if you do get the role, that's great. I got a Starbucks training video job from that, which I'm still very proud of. But thing is that I do understand that because you do get like IVR, that kind of thing, training, commercials. It's all just sort of mixed in there. And when you did mention the whole like the problem with the rates, it's like that is true. It only lets you set like one sort of rate. Like I charge this much for whatever, right?
Yeah.
It's not structured for the different things. And I mean, like I mentioned, I got something from Starbucks training, but still, it's a big company that can go there. So if big companies or smaller-ish companies go there and they know about that kind of structure, they think that they can just, yeah, it's cool, I'll get it cheaper here most likely. And
right.
I can understand how that's discouraging for a lot of people in the industry.
I didn't even know that. I think I feel like I'm the least experienced in this area of commercial stuff because I didn't even realize that it wasn't done per word. Like there are set rates for certain types, and I didn't even think about the sort of like genre of it. Like that never had crossed my mind before. I'm student today. I'm learning today.
I've heard about all of that. Like for me, mainly I've just heard about like on Fiverr at least. It's like there's like an actual fee you can add for commercial rights, but. Since I haven't done any like actual like big commercials or stuff, I want to learn all of that when I officially start looking into that. I want to take like a course or something because it is very important.
Yeah.
Because take into account radio, it's definitely not going to pay as much as say TV, something broadcast on TV for God knows how long, all that.
Right.
And then also the problem with them is that they have such high standards. I got into them when you could just sort of put a profile and just start auditioning. But now, since the rebranding, you have to basically audition, and it is extremely, extremely difficult to get in. And considering the downsides to it, it's very weird because it's like they expect you to have the absolute like best audio quality possible, and yet the compensation, obviously, it's not going to be as much as another site potentially.
Wow. Okay. Well, this is also I am the student today, so totally understandable. Thank you, Renara. Thank you, Misty.
The compensation thing, I think, actually is wild. When he was talking about how it's that same flat rate for everything, that would be like, to make it analogous to an acting situation, it would be like if you hired a stage actor for a television show and were like, oh, but you're not going to get like residuals for like rebroadcasts or anything like that.
Right.
It's like if you offered actors flat rates for everything, and that flat rate standard was your stage work.
Yes.
Now I understand.
That's
what he's
insane.
talking about.
You're an extra. Here's your $5. See y'all later. Yeah, thanks for being on. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. Bad.
All right. Let's continue on.
Upwork. Upwork is a general freelance job board that was not designed or aimed to target the voiceover industry. As such, it's just not aimed at talent who take their voiceover business seriously. Long-term, high-value clients simply don't use sites like this to find professional voice talent. Rates are mostly bottom of the barrel and not for professionals. Now look, if you're a hobbyist or amateur and you're just looking to make a few bucks and have a little fun, I fully support you doing that. And sites like Upwork are great for that kind of activity. But if you're going to be a professional, run away. Run away! And number 1, Fiverr.
Oof. Okay. Well, we know what number 1 is.
I freaking knew it.
Yeah. There it is.
I knew it. It's always advised that people don't use it, but I'm like, well, I do what I freaking can. I need money.
Right. But I mean, at the same time, you're already established. You've got a good client base, et cetera, et cetera. You got in at a different time, but let's go back real quick to Upwork, because I have tried to do Upwork, and it is kind of a nightmare because you have limited amount of contacts. You have, unless you pay for blah blah blah. So it's really not a situation. I did it for like a couple jobs, and as I just kind of like forgot about it, and I'm not even going to worry about it anymore because it is exactly that. It is not designed for those, and people take advantage of the hobbyist. They really do. I think even in CCC, if you're a hobbyist and you're going in and you feel like, hey, they're asking way too much of me, they probably are. Because they know you want to make a good impression. They know you want to put in all this other stuff. So please beware when it comes to Upwork or when it comes to Casting Call Club or even Fiverr. And we'll get into Fiverr here in a second. But anybody else have any experience with Upwork?
I tried it. I mean, I back when I first started creating profiles on all the freaking casting sites and stuff, I did try, but I saw that there really wasn't that much work available. And from what I remember, at least, it's like you have like a certain number of like a cap of like 3 pitches that you can give to like sort of like pitch your project or gig to people. And I just didn't really feel like some of them were worth it. So I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's like Fiverr in the way that it combines a lot of freelance work, but I feel like Fiverr at least has a lot of focus on the voice acting community. Like there's a lot of people there, and they have like structures where if for people that are actually professional voice actors, they have a different set for them. They have a different group for them. And yet Upwork, it's just a whole mess of things and nothing is sort of prioritized.
Well, and it's funny because I think they have the same idea, because Fiverr is essentially you're going to do something for Fiverr. You're going to do something for $5, and all of a sudden it's ballooned into this whole other concept of stuff to do.
Go into there and see how many people have the brands that they've worked with. They say, I've worked with McDonald's, I've worked with Walmart. It's like, why are you here?
Right.
I was like, okay. But they have their own thing where they get paid like minimum $100. They can set that. They have the privilege to do that. It's like, okay, cool. Good for you. But I'm surprised how many people are still on there that have like, ooh, so much experience.
And you know what? Don't get me wrong. We need sites like Casting Call Club and Fiverr and Upwork, because this is where indie developers find their talent to work with. Those are probably the 8s and 9s that are really hidden in those 1, 2, 3, 4s, and 5s that are out there. So again, I'm not saying don't go to these websites, but what I'm saying is just beware when you're there and be mindful of what you're doing.
I've never
With a
heard
website
of
like Upwork, having known nothing about Upwork until just a few moments ago. Upwork seems to me to be not dissimilar to a community theater experience. If voiceover or acting is something that acting in general is just something that you kind of want to do as like a hobbyist, or you're trying to like kind of like get your feet wet, kind of feel out like what's going on here. These might be places where it's good to audition, maybe you get a gig, and that's pretty cool for sure. But if you're trying to take the hobby into more of a hustle situation, probably you're going to want to wade into deeper waters, I would think.
I completely agree with you on that one. All right, let's hear what we've got to say for Fiverr, because I'm sure this one's going to spark a conversation for us. Here we go.
Fiverr is also not targeted specifically at the voiceover industry, but because of its size and popularity, it controls a huge amount of voiceover work. There's no doubt about that. There are people that will tell you that you can do 6 figures online doing voiceover work on Fiverr, and I do not doubt that. There is a massive amount of work to be had there. But just like Upwork, Fiverr is not concerned with or designed for the best interests of the voice actor. Clients can ask for literally anything, any usage, any term, at any budget with no rules or structure around that. And voice actors, especially newer talent, take what they're offered, often to their financial detriment. They don't often know or care what pro rates are and are simply out to win as many jobs as they possibly can for whatever they can get. Some, a few, absolutely do make 6 figures on Fiverr. But here's the thing. They often leave tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table because they either don't care or they don't know how to structure their rates and quotes properly for the usage and the scope of the work that they're really doing. More importantly, if you consider yourself a professional and you value your reputation in the business, and you eventually, one day, want to work with high-value clients, national brands, Fortune 500 companies, large professional ad agencies, reputable talent agents, many will not work with a talent that has a Fiverr account. They know that person doesn't take themselves or their work seriously, and they probably don't have the chops or the training to be able to compete in the grown-up pool. You can literally endanger your professional reputation and your career in the long term by working on Fiverr. There's a great example of this in the GVAA article, Why I Don't Worry About Fiverr Anymore. Read that article. It's quite eye-opening. I'll put the link in the description below. Look, in the end, it's your business. You get to pick how you set your rates. You get to decide what kind of clients you want to work with and how you want to do business. My best advice is that you chase clients over jobs whenever possible, and that you go after 7s, 8s, 9s, and 10s and avoid the 2s, 3s, 4s, and 5s. My mission is to help voice actors and their careers by teaching them a system to find work more consistently by growing client relationships at scale that lead to more consistent work, income, and revenue. If you want more info on that, click the VO Freedom Master Plan link in the description below. And if you found this video and the channel helpful, help spread the word to other voice actors. Make sure you like, subscribe, most importantly, hit that notification bell so that you'll be the first to know when we publish a new video every Thursday. Hey, here's a question. Do you need a logo to have a successful voiceover business? Find out here. We'll see you soon. Thanks for watching.
All right, we're going to go ahead and link all of Paul's information. I love his...
Oh, yeah.
I started watching his video. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be a good topic for us to talk about. So before I get to that whole story and a little conversation I had with Paul, thoughts on the comments on Fiverr?
Absolutely agree.
Wait for Misty, really, to be honest.
No, like, I've admitted I'm there just because I do need that. I am in a position where I need any sort of extra income I can get. So for me, honestly, it's not like I can just drop it 100% right now. I'm not at that point.
And I don't think he's saying that. I don't think he's saying that at all. I think he's definitely aware that every voice actor has their own path, their own journey, their own way of doing things. But I think the main thing I think he was talking about is that it's Fiverr is a prime place for the newbies to get super taken advantage of, and that I 100% can see and agree with, and also that's probably why I kind of steered away from it, if that made sense in the start to begin with. But that's yeah. I'm really bad at ending my parts.
I think he's also mentioning you have an active account in Fiverr. I mean, of course, And you know, I've always been a big proponent of be careful what you do, because it can always bite you in the butt in the future. I mean, if I'm not gonna say don't do the art, you know, or adult only books that are available in ACX if that's the money that you need. Just keep in mind that 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road, after you've built this foundation in VO, somebody's gonna bring it up.
Like for me, I made my Fiverr account back when I was like, what, 14. So I was still in a stage where I did not take myself very seriously. I used the same username I used my entire life. So it's not the same thing I use now. So unless they're like super good at somehow finding like really obscure content like distributed somewhere else that they recognize my voice, like, but I don't think they're going to find it unless I say, you know, publicly a lot, like, oh yeah, I've done Fiverr. I put that on my resume. They're not going to know. Hopefully. So
right. And again, I think the biggest thing is you don't think that it's wrong to do it. It's just keep in mind, you know, it can, if you're really looking for that professional, if you're looking to make that next step, then you may want to definitely put a separation between all of that's there. People want to, as I mentioned, people want to take advantage of those hobbyists. People want to take advantage of those who are trying to put their name out there and try to get, you know, that recognition of hey, you know, I want to work with you. I want to, you know, that type of situation. So keep that in mind as you go.
I would say for me, like the rates is definitely like the worst part of it, because of course when you go into you create your gig, it's like you set the amount per certain amount of words. That's how it's structured. And then if you have the option, you can do tiers where it's like you can include more premium features in this work if you pay more, but that does not go for all of the different things that he mentioned that can go into like commercials and the different sort of projects you can work on in voiceover. The best thing you could do is give a client a custom quote. That would be the best way for you to do that, but that's not encouraged. That's something that someone will find out if they choose to reach out to you first and be like, hey, how much would you charge me for this? Then you have that option to set your quote. But if they just go from your page, you won't get that option. You won't get the choice to tell them, this is actually how much I would charge for this.
Right.
So it's not encouraged. But it's like if you need something extra, obviously I'm not going to tell you don't do it, but I want to get away from that eventually once I get those specific like courses and learn all that knowledge that would come with what is my work actually worth.
Right.
I want to take out that eventually later.
And I'm not going to put words in Paul's mouth, so I'm super curious what, you know, because that could very well come up during our interview to see what he thinks of your particular situation. So look forward to that towards the end of the month. So that's going to be about 3 weeks. 21 days from today. We'll definitely have Paul on. Any other thoughts on this particular? I'm surprised CCC wasn't mentioned.
Yeah, I was expecting. I was waiting because I found that very interesting. I didn't recognize any of those except for Fiverr. I'd never heard of Bunny Studios or that. So I don't want to bombard him with what do you think of this site? What do you think of this site? What do you think of this site? Right. But a part of me is like they're going because I'd like to know. I'd like to pick his brain on voices.com, to be fair, because I'd like to know, because he mentioned it and I had no idea it was made in like 2003. Like, I think he summed up really nicely on how it's changed, and I've learned a little. I think today I've learned a bit of history behind it, because I mean I started in this 2016, so I didn't know about all of this other stuff, and I'm feeling. Today I'm trying to absorb all this information rather than trying to say anything on it, because my brain works in two ways: either I absorb or I speak. There is no in between. But yeah, no, that it's my brain is going. I want to pick his brain on several things that I now need to word into questions somehow.
I feel like part of the reason that CCC didn't come up is because. And as is my brand, I'm going to filter this through the lens of New Jersey Community Theater. There is a group that my girlfriend is actually working as a production assistant with right now. They're called Plays in the Park. They're based out of Edison, New Jersey. Their whole business, doxed myself, get it. There's a whole situation where their brand is like, we're bringing Broadway to Central Jersey. And what that means is a lot of times they have a pit full of professional musicians. They have a fleet of people working in a costume shop to build costumes that look incredible. Their sets, very generally speaking, look incredible. They are literally, when there was a gentleman named Gary in charge, they literally would like copy beat for beat for beat, move for move for move, note for note for note, Broadway productions in Central Jersey, featuring some union, mostly non-union actors. I don't think very highly of this thing. I think that they're community theater with delusions of grandeur. And in that way, that's kind of the way that I look at like a casting call club versus the second one that I've already forgotten the name of.
Upwork?
Upwork, yeah. Upwork seems very much to me as if it's like it's higher end community. It's community theater with a stipend to a degree. Where Casting Call Club is kind of like a hobby, is a more like hobbyist oriented thing. You can find some paid stuff there. Sure, you can find some paid stuff in community theater. I know people who try to make a living as pit musicians in community theater. But there are levels to the game to a degree. Casting Call Club, I don't think is, I think it's like a level below your Upwork to a degree.
Actually, I like that point of view because it does kind of fit. Absolutely. Because you are looking at it from more like the amateur point of view. Anybody can come in, anybody can create a gig, anybody can create a casting call.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what I was thinking for it. Because, like, I think the video is specifically for people that are looking for voiceover work, specifically to get paid. It's assuming that you are serious about this and you're actually just looking for paid work. And it's encouraging you to sort of avoid this for that reason. And Casting Call Club is not something I would ever recommend for someone that's like, I want to actually, like, I'm ready for paid work.
Right.
It's like, yeah, you can find some stuff there, but most of it is volunteer projects, non-paid, because it's anyone can create a short on YouTube and just post a casting call for it. They can do their fan dub. And it's very rarely are you going to see something where it's like a game sometimes pop up like, oh, we're going to post this on Steam, or we're going to present this to like a convention or something. That's the most you'll see really there. And some that are on Twitter get posted there, but I've noticed that the directors don't really look at those. Like, they put it on Casting Call Club and they have the audition open, but they typically don't cast from there. I feel like that's like not their main priority. They have like the emails and the Twitter and all that other stuff. That's what they look for most. But it's definitely like it's a great site. It's just not at all for someone that wants paid work, like really wants to get.
I think what the words that you're looking for is for anybody who's trying to take the next steps. Yeah, because you've put in your time in cast, because we all did. We all put in our time in Casting Call Club. We all did all those jobs. We all learned the editing, the taking direction, the following some very, very questionable timelines sometimes. It's all part of the experience of them, deciding I want to go to the next step. It's now what classes do I need? What coach do I need? What websites should I start going to? Who do I reach out? When do I make my LinkedIn profile? I knew I'd get a smile out of Renara on that one. When do I make my website? When do I put my demo reel? Those are the next steps when you're graduating from voices.com. I'm sorry, from Casting Call Club.
I've just remembered something very small that I didn't talk about at the beginning.
Sure.
I purchased a domain and I'm building my own website.
Yay!
Let's go.
So is it like RenaraHawkeVO.com?
It's like, I think my brother's helping me build it because he's like a computer tech person.
Nice.
He's very good at that. But yeah, we're gonna like actually build it because I actually bought the domain name, so I forgot about that because my brain is terrible. But
No,
yeah,
it's fine. That's still within
derailed.
everybody's
I'm
goal,
sorry.
I hope. So yeah, that's good. Nick says Renara is the best.
Oh,
So RenaraIsTheBest.com.
She is one of my. No, it's not that, but Nix is one of my number one fans. No, it's Renara. I think it's RenaraHawkeVA.co.uk, or that's what it will be
Cool.
once it's like done.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Very.
I'm sorry.
Super happy to hear that. So, any last thoughts on our topics for today before we get moving? All right,
I
great.
feel like my brain's all squid. My brain's gone like. Woo,
Well, at the same time,
I must know more.
We're coming back from our break, so I think all of our creativeness needs a little bit more of a running start. So we should be good to go. Don't forget, get your questions ready for our guest next week. Hopefully the stars will align and everything will happen, and we'll have everybody on board. Don't get me wrong, Ravenmane, thank you so much for stepping in for Eldurrino.
Thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, always appreciate getting that side of the acting world. Thanks again, yes, absolutely, to all the workers and everybody else who's helping to support anybody who's listening to this podcast. Thank you again. If you want to be part of the community, please feel free to join us. We have the World of Code Read Discord. Link will be in the description, as well as any links that Paul mentioned. I will make sure to put them in the description of this video or of the podcast. Thanks again, everybody who is here live. You guys are awesome. If you have a question, if you want us to listen to your audio, ColdReadthePodcast at gmail.com, or just send us a message inside of the Discord. Come on in and have some fun. Like I said, we're usually hanging out. We're usually playing video games in one way or another. So we are here. We are here to help, and there should be absolutely no reason to fear us, because we've all done it to ourselves. We've all put ourselves through the ringer, and we've been pretty hard on ourselves. But I think we've grown because of it. All right.
Oh.
Yeah. So good luck to us in our projects that we do. I will do the intro for next week. I have some ideas bubbling. So we'll see how that all turns out. Until next time, and I'll pass it off to Renara for any encouragements that you might have.
Sure. You'll have to forgive me. I'm getting back into the swing of it. But I think my main one that I think to take away, I guess, is everyone's journey starts somewhere. So even if any of those sites that just turned up in this have turned up and you're going, oh god, oh no, I have to change my plan, don't drop everything that you've already built, because you've built something at that point. I think it's advice, and then it's helping you plan the next stages, if that makes sense. You're not going backwards, you're just gonna move forwards, maybe on a slightly different path, maybe, who knows, but everyone's path is different. Everyone starts somewhere, so don't compare, don't take one person's viewpoint as God. I don't know how to say that, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, it's advice, and you can take it or leave it.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's everybody give a microwave to those of people that are listening, and thank you so much. We'll catch you all next time. Bye.
Drink your water.
Hey, there it
Please
is.
drink water.